He's like, hey, baby, what's up, man? This is a crazy fucking party, man. This is off the chain. I'm just like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. I was like, no, don't say it's off the chain. He says it isn't off the chain. Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know not only do I create content in my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch where I play single-player games, multiplayer games. I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon, where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video.
The scales are falling off. Glory! Glory!
Join me and my family, and together, let's put Christ back into Christmas.
Right now, I have a very important question. I would like you to answer it. How many of you have seen Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas chat? Putting Christ back in Christmas. I want to know. James has some very specific opinions. Fuck Kirk Cameron. Fair enough. James, I haven't. Strange true. Heavily implied, but ultimately undetermined what Jenny died from. Okay, I just want to make sure. Heavily implied that was the AIDS. See, Cinema Snobs, you know, I'm sure a lot of those YouTube critics, a lot of those famous YouTube critics have done reviews in this film. It's, it's well known to be quite awful, chat. I've seen this movie. I want to put like big fat fucking quotation marks around this, chat. This movie, because I'm right there with you. This is barely a film. Chat. I watch it every year. Mauricio, I did, but I didn't pay attention because people were talking over it. Nybron nods, smiles, no. Too tall, I've never seen this movie. I've never heard of this movie until now, to be honest with you. No, that's fine. Thank you for the honesty. I appreciate that. Honesty is the best policy. That's what I say to people. You know, I've seen Cinema Snobs reviews, so a lot of people have seen like other reviewers' review of this film. That's fair enough. Chris Ayers, think of the 10 biddies. Meowed up all meow, do it. Deanna Spears, atheist, so no, fair enough. Alex Manal, nope, I'm very confused by the title. Yeah, it's not everything. This image chat, see this right here, like him wielding. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna continue talking to you guys, and I have some opinions because I'd never seen this film until recently. Until I was like, okay, now I'm gonna sit down and do a review. So I didn't watch any critics' reviews of this film. I didn't really talk to people about what the movie's about. I really went in fairly blind. I just heard that it's reviled. It's a really bad movie, and then that's really it. And I was expecting something different. As a man have not, I know Corey wanted to review this for Bad Movie Reviews. Yes, that's true. He was up there, but sadly was beat out by a couple other films. Jingle All the Way, which I think is actually a fun film. I actually enjoyed that movie quite a bit. Summer Baby, nope, I haven't. Masuka, fucking big fat quotation marks. Cast Match Star reviews. I think most of you guys have seen reviews. Icicle, I watched it drunk, had a great time. Fair enough. There are some laugh out loud moments, that are not intended to be funny, but they are. Chat, a little unintentional humor, which is what I love, chat. One of my favorite movies this year had a lot of unintended humor. A Fall from Grace, similar in that way, chat. And if you're a longtime follower of Brad Jones, the Cinema Snob chat, great guy, met him, you know the legend of this movie. He saw it and was so fascinated by it that he forced several of his friends to go see it and do their own reviews. There you go. Ronnie says, I've not seen this movie. Everybody's like, nah. So most of you guys have not seen it. A lot of you guys have just seen reviews of the film. That's fair. Much like I haven't seen on any of that stuff. I just knew of the movie's awfulness. It's alleged awfulness, chat, because I haven't seen it, so I gotta give gotta give the film a fair shot, right? And so I didn't know what I was getting into. But when I looked at this I was expecting Kirk Cameron, the actor and filmmaker, to be like wielding a candy cane and being the shit out of, I don't know, the liberals, chat, who are trying to take Christmas from, our red-blooded, apple pie-eating Americans, chat. That's what I was expecting. That's what I was in for. I was like, okay, let's clear what's going to happen. He's just going to take on the libs, chat, who are, as we all know, chat, are stealing Christmas away from, proud Americans, chat. They're conducting the war on Christmas and just ruin it for everybody, chat. They hate Christians. They just want to destroy it. That's all the libs want to do. And I was like, okay, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this movie. I'm going to park my keister right here in my very nice chair, which you guys you generously gave to me, paid for, chat. Again, thank you. And that's what I was expecting to see. And honestly, chat, what I got was something I didn't expect. It starts fucking weird. It starts weird. I was like, okay, is this just literally Kirk Cameron? He's just going to sit there talking to me about Christmas? And then the movie has these weird dramatic shifts, chat. But honestly, what it really is, watch, it's like, oh, this is just a shitty, very religious heavy Christmas themed Dinner of Andre, chat. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the film Dinner of Andre, chat, it's literally very simplified. I'm not going to go into all the details, the filmmakers, the actors behind it, but it's just a conversation between these two people. They were kind of acquaintances. One person doesn't really want to be there, but they get really, the individual gets sucked up into this conversation, and they hypothesize about life and their various experiences, chat. And, you know, it's considered to be a groundbreaking film where it literally takes place in one place at a restaurant, these two people talking. That's what I feel like this movie's inspired by, or what Kirk Cameron or the director Darren Doan, who is also plays one of the, I think he plays one of the other characters in it. Yeah, he plays the Grinch, if you will, the Ebenezer Scrooge, the Judas, if you will, of the movie Christian. All right. It really, it's just a shitty holiday version of Dinner of Andre, chat. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like, hey, you want to make a Dinner of Andre? Thank you, Dark Side of the Five Betties. I remember one of the dumbest lines in the movie, straight power. Or my favorite fucking line in the movie, Santa's bad, but in a good way. That would have cracked me up when I heard it. He's bad, but in a good way. Just the change in fucking tones is crazy. It's straight power. Oh, we'll get into it. Inspired by. That's what I feel like it is. And listen, I'm fine. Like, I have nothing. Hey, you got these religious films people are making. I have nothing. I have no problem with that. If you want to do a religious Christian Christmas themed Dinner of Andre, that's fine with me. I got no problem with it. You know, I'm gonna just kind of speak very open with you guys about my religious views or lack thereof. I'm an agnostic, chat. I just don't know. I don't know. You know, I've moved away from the faith very, very early in my life, chat, when I think it was like middle school, high school. It's like, I don't want to fucking participate in all this shit. I'm just kind of done. I'm just like, hey, you want my oath of view, chat, be a good person. Be a good person. You know, be respectful, okay? Don't talk down to other people and live the life you want to live, chat. That's what I've always adhered to, okay? I don't want to be forced into a religion or a cult or a specific point of view where I feel like I'm shaming or demigogging over people. It's like, that's not fun. I don't want to be, I don't want that to be a part of my life. For those of you who are religious, like, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. You live, if that's what helps you throughout your life, then please, embrace your faith. It's just not for me. And I just don't know. I just don't know what all the answers are in the universe. I'm a simple man trying to make my way in the universe. I am the Django Fett, chat. I am the Django Fett of the streaming community. That's what I like to think of myself as, chat. I'm the Django Fett. Okay, and so I was like, okay, that's fine. You want to do this type of movie, that's fine. But what I got, chat, was just such an amateurish high school version of Dinner of Andre. Like, again, I would have been totally fine if they did the religious version, but yeah, they do that. But it's just so cheap and horrifically acted, and there's literally no script. The only person who I feel like had a script was Kirk Cameron, and everybody else just kind of wandering on. It really does feel like this. History about this film, chat. So it came out in 2014. It's considered an American faith-based Christmas comedy film. I don't know where the fucking comedy is. Well, the unintentionally funny moments, sure. It's produced mainly by Liberty University, which is that big religious Christian college that like has backed Trump for his entire administration. Chat gave him a bunch of honorary degrees. It's that one. It's the same exact one, chat. And it feels like all they did is they filmed this on location on the campus, and they got all these students like, okay, you guys will all get extra credit for this semester if you go ahead and join Kirk Cameron's production of Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas. That's what it feels like, Chad, because everyone in this movie, I guess aside from Kirk Cameron, does not feel like an actor. I was like, I'd never seen these people before. They are so awkward and stilted in their various delivery of their line. It's just bad. It's like high school bad, but not even like like high school plays. There's some quality high school plays. There's some quality college productions. Like these kids are going to college to train to be actors. They didn't get those kids. These kids were not got. Okay, they got everyone. Those kids are like, I want to be a fucking associate with this. All right, and they went for these kids that just wanted extra credit. Chet. That's the level of acting we're dealing with right here. And Kirk Cameron, honestly, he's not much better, Chet. Thank you, Darks of the 5 biddies. I'll take the F over being in that movie. Yeah, fair enough. They should have, in hindsight, that's I think a lot of kids would have done. But Chad, it was somewhat of a box office success. Had a budget of about $500,000, which is not surprising because everything looks fucking cheap as hell. They're using After Effects throughout the entire movie, Chad. There's some Birdemic level effects in this film. It's just like, Jesus Christ. Had a box office of $2.8 million. I'm sure is done rather well on streaming services, Chad. This is, I believe, on Amazon Prime. That's the way to watch it. And the other thing is, I wouldn't even consider this a full movie. It's an hour and 10 minutes. It has 10 minutes of credits. I was like, Jesus Christ, there's a lot of fucking credits in this movie because they thanked all the people that participate in the film chat from Liberty University and all these other faith-based organizations gave them their, 5 goddamn minutes, credit them for, back in the film. It's really just an hour 10. It's pretty much a short film. And again, with the qualities and the aesthetics of a high school and or low college level production, Chef. But let's go ahead and get into and of course it was reviled when it came out. Critics promptly shit on the film. As it should be, Chad. It's a bad movie, and just the befuddling movie. And Kirk Cameron became very angry over the reviews of this film. Went to war with a lot of critics, and I think that's what also forced so many YouTube critics like, this guy's losing his goddamn mind. So I want to get my mocking in here right now, and so it's just kind of proliferated and expanded all these years, and it's just kind of regarded as one of the worst faith-based and generally one of the worst films of the modern 21st century, which I'm like, sure, I'll agree to that. It sucks, Jeff. But now, thank you, Austin. Thank you so much to the host, and welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing very well today. Good to see you. It was great talking with you earlier on the Discord. But chat, the movie opens up. We have a framing sequence, chat. It's what's called a framing sequence. This is when Kirk Cameron appears on the goddamn screen and literally tells you, chat, how much he loves Christmas. This is how the movie starts out. It's Kirk Cameron, much like what I'm doing right now, chat. I'm sitting down. He's surrounded by Christmas gifts and stockings and a fire and a Christmas tree, chat. And he's just staring directly in the camera, just going, you know what, guys? I love Christmas. I love the presents. I love the trees. I love the stockings hanging on the fireplace, and boy howdy, I love a crackling fire. You know what I love most of all? Cocoa. I'm Mr. Green Christmas. I also love Santa Claus and his 8 tiny reindeer. I love Christmas cookies. I love the Christmas movies. And he just stares for a minute as he's trying to think of what else do I love? He goes, oh yeah, and I love Jesus. And what's great about Chad, at least I'm adding at least some slurping sound effects. There is no fucking cocoa in that cup. He's drinking from a literal empty goddamn cup, Chad. It's like, what are you doing here? And I was like, at least get some editing here. Cut between the things you love. Let's show some B-roll, Chad. No, it's literally just him sitting there and thinking about the things he loves, putting the cup down, taking a minute, and it's like, I love this, I love that. It's literally, Chad, I don't know. It felt like Spring Breakers, like James Franco's character, Alien from Spring Breakers, was inspired by this scene in Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas, where Alien just goes around, this is my motherfucking Blu-ray player, this is my motherfucking Tech 9, that's my motherfucking bed with my big boo bitches on it. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, Chad. Except slightly, but miraculously, Chad, strangely, Kirk Cameron is even more creepy and off-putting than James Franco is Alien. It's like, what the hell is going on? Okay, he's saying about all the things he loves, and he's like, Christmas is about Jesus, I got that. And then Kirk Cameron gets fucking dark, and he's like, but I love all those things. But there are some people out there who don't love those things. You know, you have these people in the media, you have politicians, you have people online who just want to take Christmas away from us. They hate Christmas. It's the war on Christmas. It's a war we've been fighting. Man, not since not the start of the 21st century, not even at the start of the 20th century. At the founding of the religion, when Prince Herod himself tried to murder baby Jesus in crib as he swept through Bethlehem and forced his soldiers to stab babies. That's the war we've been fighting. That is the war we have been fighting. Thank you, Mr. Emily, for the 50-50 Spring Breakers Christmas. Yes, I agree. I have an appreciation for some elements of Spring Breakers. Thank you, Dr. It's funny enough, he faced back for Carolyn without mask. So care about his fellow man. He said, we've been fighting this goddamn war with Christmas for years. You know, I have defended the faith. I have defended Christmas. And I'm here to tell you a story of someone who lost it, who fought on the other side, fought with the libs. And we got to own the libs. That's the most important thing that we can do in this day and time, okay? That's what we all need to come together and defeat the liberal oligarchy. And that's why I'm so happy to have you here watching my movie where I save Christmas. And then it cuts. And a fucking cut shit was like, okay, that was weird. It was a weird framing device talking about Christmas, how he wants to own the libs. Okay, I gotcha. And then shit, we have a flashback. And we see this little girl. It's, I don't know where, it's 300 AD or some shit. It's like 300 years after the death of Christ or something, right? After little JC, chat, when he got nailed to that piece of wood, to that fucking tree. And we see this little hobbit girl walk out, chat. She's like, Master, it is time. And we see this giant hairy man just goes, get my coat. And then we have Kirk Cameron is like, this is the start of many of our traditions. I was like, what the fuck is happening? What happened? Why did we go from Kirk Cameron pretending to sip on cocoa to now I'm seeing this hobbit child tell this just giant bearded man it's time? What is it time for, chat? And we see this guy walking through a forest, even though it's clearly a set, and they have a fucking terrible looking blue screen behind him, chat, and he's got a blue-green halo. It's not like a crazy bearded Jesus, chat. No, you're gonna find out who this guy is. And he's just fucking walking through this forest, chat. They got the fake potato flake snow coming down, and Kirk Cameron is just saying, oh, many of our traditions started this way. Stories from Christian to pagan, and how it came together to reinforce the majesty and the love that we all have for Jesus. And then we cut from all that. Chat, and now we're at a party. 2014, okay? Kirk, and it's like, feels like this is Kirk Cameron. They literally filmed this in Kirk Cameron's home. It's a Christmas party. And Kirk Cameron, he's talking to his sister, chat. I mean, they have all the fucking little kids running around. It's all the kids, chat, of the actors. You know, like, listen, we need some kids. Can you bring your son and or daughter to the production for tonight? We're all going to film this like within the night or something. I go, okay. So I'll bring the fucking kids there, chat. They're like, oh, you want Coco? Kirk Cameron's like, I'm sure you do. And I'm like, I would not let Kirk Cameron near any fucking children. I don't want him near kids, chat. I'm like, the way he was fucking looking at me early in the movie, pretending to sip on cocoa, it's like, I don't know if that's even cocoa. I don't know what he's feeding these fucking kids. These kids have no adult supervision, chat. All the adults are in the other room getting fucking smashed. You know, I don't know. Maybe fucking Kirk Cameron put some in the cocoa in the Kool-Aid, chat. You know, maybe it's like a cult situation. I don't know what he's doing, but he's giving all these kids cocoa, and then you don't see the kids again. You don't see a single fucking kid later on in the film, chat. It's like, what did he do to those children? I want to know, chat. That is not answered in the film, and I'm very disturbed by it. And so he's giving all the cocoa to the kids, and they're like, I feel sleepy, and they feel sleepy, chat, and then they leave the film. I'm like, I don't like that. But then, you know, Kirk Cameron, he's asking his sisters, like, what's up? I don't know what her name is, shit. I'm going to call her Karen. What's up, Karen? And she's like, you know, it's Christmas time and things can get a little stressful around here. And he's like, why is it stressful for you, Karen? You love Christmas. Don't you love the day that baby Jesus was birthed from Mother Mary's thick thighs? Didn't you love that when she front pooped that little sucker out? And she's like, believe me, I love that imagery that you just put inside my head, Kirk Cameron. I love that she calls him Kirk Cameron, like that's your brother. Why are you calling him for his full name? Your last name is also Cameron. It's Karen Cameron. She has a lot of K's in there. A lot of K's and C's. But she's, oh, it's my husband. It's my husband, Christian. He doesn't have the faith like he used to. He just doesn't like Christmas. And Kirk's like, He can't believe it, Chad. He's like, how can Christian, see, a Christian, Chad, how can Christian lose the faith? He's like, I get it. And like, how can he not love Christmas? Well, he's just been getting like this every single year. His opinions on Christmas have changed so dramatically. It's almost as if Jesus himself can no longer help. And Kirk Cameron's like, well, I can do a better job than Jesus. I will take it upon myself to be the martyr of Christian. And then we cut to Christian, who is also the director and producer and writer on the movie. Darren Doan, Chad, Darren Doan. And this miserable, sad sack of shit just sitting in the chair like a fucking grumpy, like a Grinch, and Ebenezer Scrooge, if you will, just looking at all the fucking people around and how he just hates them, Chad. See, his whole thing, Chad, he hates how commercialized, how corporatized the holidays, the Christmas holiday has become. He hates that fucker Santa. He's like, no, it's about Jesus Christ, okay? And Santa and all these companies and all these pagan traditions have taken over and bastardized the holiday. He resents his wife. He resents his children. He resents all of his friends. He's just sitting there miserable, chat, looking like a miser. And then, chat, it's like, okay, what does this scene need at this point? Like, you're asking yourself, what do we need at this point in the film? Like, he's acting very grumpy. You know, Kirk Cameron's concerned, Chad. He's like, he thinks he lost the faith. You know, Kirk Cameron is the Jesus in this situation. He's the JC. What do we need in this scene? Funny black guy, you may enter the scene. And Chad, we's like, hey, baby, what are you doing, man? Give us some skin. And I'm like, oh, my God. They bring out this guy, Chad, and he is like, you are a walking, talking stereotype. He's like kind of a round Chris Tucker, Kevin Hart type, Chad. He's like, hey, baby, what's up, man? This is a crazy fucking party, man. This is off the chain. I'm just like, oh my God. Oh my God. I was like, no, don't say it's off the chain. He says it isn't off the chain. And he just starts talking, and Christian just looking at him like, God, I hate this black guy. I'm just like, no. And he just keeps talking. He looks at his fucking mouth and is like, oh, just stop talking. Cuts back to the lips. And this guy just keeps going on about, man, isn't it crazy how they can't let us, dress up? We want fun day, fun shirt day. I always wait for every single Friday I can put on my fun shirts. And now they say we can't do fun shirt day because apparently I wore something offensive. And he goes on and on and on and on and on. And also, you have some, it's like the goddamn libs, man, always trying to be politically correct. On. See, I get what you're saying. I get what's going on here. And it's just like, it's racist. It's very racist. And then, the very stereotypical black man. The black man of the movie, chat. There is only one black man. He makes many appearances, chat, but only in the background. It's like, okay, you are banished to the background now, where you will no longer talk. Show, thank you for the 10 biddies. Straight power, man. That's what he says, straight power. Thank you, Show with him. My heart's a pitter-pattern right now. And, I forgot the character's name. I think his name is DeAndre. He's like, Christian, are you even listening to me? He goes, oh, yeah, man. No, I got to own the libs. He's like, goddamn right, own the libs. Power, straight power. And he walks away. And he's just miserable, Chad. He's just miserable. And eventually he leaves. But then Kirk Cameron, he's trying to find Christian Chase, wants to talk to him about the joys of Christmas and Christ. And we get the editing. This movie is awful, Chad. So they do a weird, constant, change of perspective with the camera. Sometimes you're following Kirk Cameron, sometimes as a first person's perspective, but it's really jarring. It's like the camera's almost looks like that fucking Evil Dead film where we have Sam Raimi invented the Evil Dead shot, where it's going so fucking fast. Clearly, they didn't have this on a goddamn dolly or something, chat, or on rails. It's just like, no, I'm just gonna fucking do a handheld thing. It doesn't work that way. It's just awkward when you do that. It looks fucking cheap. Deadpool, think of the 5 days. Can't have him on the screen too long. Might scare the white. Yeah, might scare the white folk. See? Deadpool, you're thinking like Kirk Cameron. That's good. And so the camera constantly cuts between Kirk Cameron's perspective, how he's seeing it, and him walking. This is like, stop doing this. This is just really jarring. And he walks in the room, chat, but fucking Christian's gone. The formerly devout Christian, the one who is losing the faith, chat, he's gone. But then he sees Uncle Albert there, just fucking sitting there looking at his phone. But there's Uncle Albert. And I guess that was supposed to be a funny moment, but it's not funny. And he's searching the whole party for him, Chad. Can't find him. But eventually he goes outside because he knows the one place where a person might go if they don't want to be in a party is their car. And who does he spot in the SUV, Chad? Fucking Christian. He's in his car just looking at his fucking phone. And Kirk Cameron walks up, Chad, enters the car and goes, "Hey, Christian, what's up, bud?" And he goes, man, just taking a breather, being in there and all the Christmas stuff. And it's just, And this is the part of the movie where I'm like, oh, you didn't have a script at all. Because all it is, Chad, and Chris Ayers can testify, anyone who's seen this movie can testify, you have the Christian character played by Darren Doan who is just riffing and attempting to be funny. And Kirk Cameron just kind of staring at him like, okay, when do I come up with the line that I need to come in here to then, move on? And it's just Kirk Cameron just staring at him. And he's just like, we're always, Christmas time. It's, man, it's all about the gifts and about Santa and, where's Christ? And it's, it's jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun. It's like, are you doing the whole song? Is how it's going to be? It's like, what the fuck is happening? And it's weird. And then Kirk Cameron goes, I'm sorry you feel that way. Well, what's one thing? What's one of the big things about Christmas that bothers you, so much? And he goes, well, man, it's not about Jesus anymore. It's not about Jesus anymore, man. It's like Jesus has been supplanted by the corporatization, the liberalization of Hollywood, and now it's about Santa. Okay, you have the gays and you have the blacks, and they're coming in there and taking over shit. And it's like, whoa, and he says, listen, all the things you're saying about Christmas, I'm going to tell you right now, man, you're wrong. You're wrong. And he's like, what do you mean I'm wrong? What are you talking about? He says, Christmas is like, as it's always been, about Jesus. I'm going to prove it to you. And, he's like, well, what could you, okay, prove it to me. Like, the thing is, like, with my family, it's gotten terrible. It's like, the only time you see Christmas is about the birth of little JC, little baby Jesus Christ, okay? The only thing we got in there is our little snow globe with fucking Jesus and Nazareth nativity scene. That's always put in some corner over there. It's like, well, what about the rest of the stuff, man? How is that all adhere to what the nativity scene was? And you go on and on. And it's just I'm sitting in the car. It's dinner of Andre, sitting in the car. And then Kirk Cameron goes, let me do a flashback scene. Not even flashbacks. I don't even know what it is. Because he just starts describing the nativity. And going into some extra details, chat. So I know we always think of like the nativity, for those who might be unfamiliar with it, like it takes place in a manger, like a barn or something, like a barn-esque manger thing. Maybe Jesus was there, farm animals, 3 kings and all this shit. Well, probably most likely happened. It took place in a cave, chat. It took place in a cave. That's what a lot of farmers use for sheltering their flock and various animals and things. And you got fucking Mary and Joseph. And we cut in on this stone, chat. So there's this big stone in the middle of the room, right? And they say, like, typically the stone's like a giant basin, if you will. And it was filled with all the feed and straw used to feed the animals, chat. And so the farmer would put his animals in there, take the rest out, and allow the other ones to feed. And how, this gets fucking weird. How Jesus, much like the straw in feed, he was also consumed by us. He was the sacrifice, the sacrificial lamb. That's what he represents. We feasted upon his flesh with the Eucharist, the body and blood of Christ. We consume him because he died for our sins. And so what Kirk Cameron is saying, yeah, the nativity, it's about us eating a baby. We're eating a baby, chat. And we see 2 high school, maybe early college age actors, chat, as Joseph and Mary. They got a fake beard on good old Joe. But I'm gonna tell you right now, chat. Joe, yeah, it's cannibalism. It's very much cannibalism. I feel sorry for Joe because he got the shit. Joe, Joseph Chad doesn't get enough credit for what he did. Married Mary, he just about to marry Mary. No, he did marry Mary, Chad. Didn't have sex with her yet, right? And then God says, yeah, you're my chosen, baby, you're my baby mama. I'm going to put my son inside you and go, boom, you're pregnant with my son. And she's like, what about my husband? And he's like, what about him? And she had to go and tell Joseph, listen, I'm pregnant, but obviously you didn't put your peen in me. And so it's immaculate conception. And Joe rightfully went, what the fuck? And didn't want to marry Mary. She's like, no, I'm going to divorce you. This is fucking, no, you fucking cheated on me. You're a piece of shit. Right? But then God said, hey, Joe, listen, it's going to be a rough thing to hear. So I immaculately concepted inside of your wife, Mary. and she's pregnant with my son. You'll never have any children, by the way. It's just one and done. So I'm a one-pump chump kind of guy, man. Sorry, Joe. You're now infertile. Boom, made you infertile. So you got to take care of my kid. And Joe doesn't get enough credit, Chad. Like, Joe's, after the nativity and everything, like, what happened to him? Like, I looked at, because, I went to Catholic school, shit. I went in high school, I went to religious education, all that shit. So I know the Bible fairly well. I know a lot of the major beats. Joe's not in any of the other books, Chad. He's not in the book of Matthew. He's not in the book of Luke. He's not in the book of John, Chad. Not in the book of Mark. He's in none of them. He's in it for a bit, but then after that, just done. All the nativity stuff, and then it's just cut on. And it's all about Jesus and Mary and shit and all the disciples, and he's just gone. What happened to Joe? What happened to Joe? I don't fucking know, Chad. It's a hilarious plot. It's a plot. It's a major fucking plot. I want to know what happened to. What happened in history? He got the shit end of the stick. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, Chad. Kirk Cameron goes, we eat a baby every year, so our sins will be forgiven. And we cut back to the car, right? Maybe let's be honest. Deadpool thinks probably Joseph is the podcast. The Christian, he really is. There's Superman it's kind of an allegory to Jesus Christ. So very much so. Yeah, podcast is definitely that. Definitely that. But he got more fucking credit. He at least, grew up and taught, Clark all the, how to be a good person. We don't know what happened to We know what happened to Joe. Clearly he's not around by the time Jesus is killed. By the time he raises from the dead, Chad, rose again on the third day, walking the goddamn earth with the stigmata. We don't see him again. What happened to Joe? He just deserves more credit, in my opinion. Thank you, Austin. He is Terrence Howard in the Bible for my yes. It doesn't get enough from man. Anyway, we cut back, so, the whole thing, but we eat a baby every year, and that forgives our sins. And the Christians is like, I never fucking thought of it that way. Like, all the food we eat, like, all we have out there, the presents are representative of us eating the baby. And he's like, Kirk Herman's like, exactly, man, exactly. He has the cocoa for some reason. I don't know where he got the cocoa, Chad. And there's nothing in it, though. But he goes like, what about the trees, man? The stupid fucking Christmas tree that I see every single year. It's dumb. It's awful. You know what that is, man? You know what that fucking is? It's paganism, man. It's paganism, man. See, long before JC got in the town in Europe, all of them pagans, them Germanic tribes, those, Nordic tribes, those French tribes, Spanish tribes, the UK, man, those Irish, the Scotsmen, those Highlanders, all of them, man, they just worship trees all the time and practicing fertility, played to their fertility gods, have a bunch of babies and they have a good amount of livestock, have good crops. That's all it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. And Kirk Cameron's like, hey, you're right about all those things, but you're also wrong about all those things. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, think of it this way. And he's like, what? But super thank you for the 4 biddies. Empty cup of cocoa. Typical Kirk Cameron move. And we go, he says, it all began. He's like, we're going to have another flashback chat. It's like, how are we going to explain the connection between the trees, the Christmas tree, and little baby Jesus, chat? And he says, it all started in a tree lot. It's like an ancient tree lot? No, like a modern day tree lot. And he says, you have all these people looking at all these trees. They want the perfect tree for their house. The thing is, though, man, you know what the best tree is? The fucking cross that Jesus sacrificed himself on. The one where he had his hands nailed. That's the ultimate tree. And so we cut to this little girl, chat. It's a weird fucking flashback vision where you see the families are like, we like this tree. It's a good looking tree. And we see this little girl who's wandering around and sees adult man Jesus, or it could have been a hobo. Could have been either or. It's hard to tell, honestly, chat. Hobo or the Messiah. We don't know. We go back and forth, chat. Hobo, Messiah. And she saw one of two things. And she sees, let's just say Jesus, let's say good old JC, walking through the trees, and he steps up to this big old cross, chat, and we get a couple Roman soldiers, and they start fucking hammering. He's like, and we just see this little girl going, that's Jesus, and just smiling the whole time. It's like, what the fuck horror movie is this? And he says, the cross, that's what it is, man. That is the tree of God. That is the symbol of Jesus' sacrifice. He took upon our sins, laid bare upon his corporeal form. And that is what the Christmas tree is representative of. It's not the holiday or the presents itself. It is Jesus' sacrifice to us. So like that little girl who was just horrifically traumatized, looking at Jesus as he was nailed to the cross by the Romans. Think of that moment when you look at that tree, a bloodied, hobo-looking man screaming in agony. That's your Christmas tree. It's like what? What? I don't remember that. Thank you, Dark Side of the Five. Jesus is the tree. He's looking, just always looking. And then we come back to Christian. And Christian's just like, hey, man, I never thought of it about that way. Every time I look at my Christmas tree, I'll just think about a screaming, bloodied hobo. That's perfect. That sounds great. But he's like, Kirk, okay, you made good points about, eating babies and screaming hobos on crosses and shit. What about Santa, man? You know what Santa is an anagram for? Satan. Switch the letters around, chat. What if you switch them around? What does Santa spell? Satan. I rest my case, chat. It's about Satan. People don't understand. It's about Satan, chat. And then you get this fat man. He's all dressed in red. Chat, delivering gifts. It's the commercialization. It's the corporatization of Christmas, chat. Santa has replaced Jesus. Right? It's what the libs want. It's what those goddamn, West Coast, East Coast, your urban libs want, man. They want to supplant Jesus, and so they had a fat man do it. Had a European fat man. Explain that to me, Kirk Cameron. Explain that to me. And Kirk Cameron's just like, Christian, you're wrong again, man. You are simply wrong again. Santa is real. And I'm like, oh, come on. At this point in the movie, I'm like, okay. Kirk Cameron says, Santa is real. And I'm just like, what? Thank you, Matches of 10 Minutes. Vampire what? He's real, Chad. He's real. And he says, no, Santa, he exists in history. Let me tell you. Now, you're right. You're right about one thing, Christian. Santa is bad, but in a good way. And we cut to like this Santa Claus that's like hanging out at the party chat. It sounds like, who is this guy? By the way, running gag in the movie, no one knows who's pretending to be Santa in that house yet. So it could be the real Santa Claus. We don't have no fucking clue. And he's interacting with all the kids, chat, and the kids just vanish later in the movie. So Santa might be a pedo. So in this case, he is bad. We just cut to the Santa chat, him just sitting there while Kirk Cameron's talking, and he's just going, and he has black gloves on, chat. Not like, Santa gloves. No, like black, leather daddy, skin tight, OJ looking, like the glove can't fit. If the glove doesn't fit, chat, you can't quit. You can't do it. Okay? It's like, what the hell's going on? Cracking his knuckles, staring at the camera. Just, and he's like, let me tell you. Darkest thing of the vibe is Kirk is in a deep pit of lies. He needs to keep lying to get out. He really does. He's like, let me tell you the story of St. Nicholas, who is a historical figure, Chad, who's actually a real historical figure, the character of the individual of St. Nicholas, Chad. It was funny because even the Christmas Chronicles, Chad, with Kurt Russell, they actually incorporated some of those elements into that movie, Chad. The person who later became St. Nicholas. But they have this individual, Chad, St. Nicholas. I forget what his original name was. And he was a bishop, Chad. It was a bishop in a Turkish city, Chad. I believe it was, let's see here. What did they say? Anyway, it was somewhere in Turkey, Chad. And it was how this movie opened up, Chad. Remember that little hobbit girl that went inside the home and says, they're ready. And he's like, finally. And he like gets all dressed up, Chad. He has his giant fucking fur coat on. Satan, I mean Santa. Oh, Masuka. You're on Christian side right now. That's the character we're talking about, Chad. He was a bishop from Turkey, and he was beloved by the people. Because everywhere he would go, Chad, to all the neighboring towns in the main city that he operated in, he would always deliver gifts and food and candies to children and people all around, Chad. He was very, very generous, Chad, very generous with his time. He was very kind to the poor and the downtrodden, Chad. He was a beloved figure. And during this time, Chad, I think it was like around 300 plus AD. Many individuals in the Christian faith, Chad, were questioning whether Jesus Christ was indeed a messianic figure, Chad, or if he was just a prophet. And this was called the Council of Nicaea, chat. Council of Nicaea, I believe, was hosted somewhere in Turkey at the time. And that's what St. Nicholas is going towards, chat. So the little hobbit girl comes in, tells him they're ready, and he gets all fucking dolled up, chat. Puts on his skinned animals and everything, chat. He's got this giant fucking beard, chat. This huge cane, this walking stand. Looks like fucking Gandalf. He looks like goddamn, like if Gandalf and Santa had a baby, this is what would be front pooped out of him. And he's walking the forest, chat. Well, Kirk Cameron is saying, now, St. Nicholas, he was bad, but in a good way. And as he made his way to the Council of Nicaea. Also, chat, we occasionally cut back to the party, and we check in on the black man in the movie, chat, the black man. And apparently he is interacting with an atheist, chat, a lib, if you will. It's a very derogatory term used to describe a liberal, chat. And this scene is bizarre to me because the liberal person is like a conspiracy theorist. And I guess it's a gag where, like, let's pretend like we're not actually talking. So let's cover our mouths with our mugs. So it looks like this. So every time they're talking, he's like, man, Christmas, it's all about, the corporatization of Jesus Christ, how the coastal elites have taken. It's like, that's what it is. That's what it is, chat. And he's like, he covers his mouth. And he's just like, listen, man, I'm an atheist, okay? It's like Christmas is ruining just American values. Like, that's what it is. And the thing is, it's the worst ADR you can possibly imagine, chat. Because the lips are obviously not moving. They're not. You can, like, if you see, like, if I'm talking, you can still see my mouth moving right now behind the mug, so you can still hear my words. The thing is, chat, their mouths are not fucking moving. And so you're hearing all this ADR. It's like, where is this coming from? Because you're thinking of the Lebanese. The lip sync is way better when you do it than is when they do. Exactly. No, the lip sync is awful, chat. And you have this crazy conspiracy theory guy, chat, this liberal conspiracy theorist who's just saying how, Christmas is evil and how we should all be atheists or at the very least agnostic. And the black guy's just like, man, you crazy. And he walks away. And I was like, that was awkward. But then eventually, we cut back to the story of Kirk Cameron, chat, and we see they have some of the worst After Effects, chat. We see this really terrible looking CGI house, and St. Nicholas goes inside, and he's hearing some shit he does not like, chat. So there was an individual who was talking to like a lot of shit about Jesus, chat, how Jesus, he wasn't really a messianic figure, was not birthed from Mary. I mean, he was birthed from Mary, but he wasn't, like a part of God or anything. Like, he wasn't God in corporeal flesh. And this individual's named Arius, chat. And the person who plays Arius is the is the liberal from earlier on the movie, chat, who was like saying, no, Christmas, it's the worst thing ever, man. Be an atheist. So it's that guy. It's like, oh, okay, I see what you're fucking doing. And they also have the black man there, chat, but the black man, he has no lines. He's in the background. You go in the background. You're banished the rest of the movie. And, St. Nicholas, he's hearing all this shit. He's like, enough! And he sits down next to Arius the Lib. That's what he should be called. He's called Arius the Lib. And he goes, I've heard many words spoken today, and I wish to speak with my fists. And he grabs him, Jed. He grabs him, and he just starts fucking pummeling him. He just starts hitting him with his giant cane, chat. So all that about, let's have a respectful debate and discussion. No, he beats the shit out of Arius, chat. And apparently the bishops that were there, chat, this Inner Tavern, this meeting place, they were so appalled by St. Nicholas's, beating of Arius, chat, they excommunicated him. But the people were like, no, we love St. Nicholas, or we love the guy who eventually becomes St. Nicholas. And they reinstated him in his bishophood, chat, and that's when he was made a saint. He was called Saint because he fucking beat the shit out of a guy. That's why, chat, that's why he was made a saint. He's like, no, fuck you, and beat the shit out of him. And also because he's generous and shit. And how he became so beloved. He became so beloved all over Europe, chat, and parts of the Middle East. And he was given many names, chat. He was given, and they go over all the fucking names he had. But also, he had the name of Sinterklaas. And also, it's like how eventually this came up in the tradition of Santa Claus. Because, chat, Santa Claus, he beat the shit out of the libs who denied the existence, chat, and the messianic vision that is Jesus Christ. And Doug said, think of the five, but shit, if that's the case, we should all be saints, right? Right? If that's the thing that we need to do. If that's the line we need to cross, fuck it, anoint me, baby. And so that's why he was anointed a saint, Chad, because he beat the shit out of the libs. And we cut back to Kirk Cameron's car with Christian. Christian's like, oh my God, I had no idea. And he goes, oh no. Oh no. And Kirk Cameron's like, what is it, Christian? He's like, I've become a lib. I'm the guy in the story. I'm the person who doesn't love Christmas anymore. And Kirk Cameron, he holds, Christian's hand. And he goes, it's not too late for you. We can save you. He goes, I've been such a jerk, and my wife and my kids and my friends. It's his house, by the way. And what am I going to do? He's just like, just go in there and profess your love of God, of Jesus, and Christmas. And he goes, I'm going to do that, man. And he fucking opens the goddamn daughter's house, and he's like, yay, Christmas. And he belly flops shit. He fucking belly flops on his slides across his floor, chat, and rams in the fucking Christmas tree. It's just like, ah. And he holds all the presents. People are like, what the fuck is wrong with him? And you see Kirk Cameron's like, he has been anointed. I have saved another one. I have saved Christmas. And that, chat, is Kirk Cameron's saving Christmas, putting the Christ back in Christmas. I hope you enjoyed that. This is them taking pictures of fucking Christian just losing his fucking mind. That's all it is. That's all. Oh yeah, there's a dance number. So Chad, they bring back their one black man, and he's like, let's get crazy up in here. And then they have a DJ. He's the DJ, chat, and they're all dancing. They're like, whoa, they're doing the hippity hop. And it's like, no. Masuka, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the 5 minutes. Dark Side, I think of another for the 5 minutes. I wouldn't even gotten that far. I think I would have told him to get the fuck out in a few minutes. Get the fuck out of my car. Awesome. Thanks for putting the Chris into saving Christmas. That's what I try to do, Austin. That's what I try to do. No, we don't want you to save anyone, Kirk. Right, Brad? Hey, Chris, are you familiar with Brad Jones at Cinemas? Of course, man. I know him. I met him. Hung out with him. Pretty embarrassing. This movie is a fuck you, and I haven't even watched it. A wholehearty fuck you. Yeah, I mean, it's a waste of time. I mean, honestly, Che, it's a waste of time. Like, I exaggerate some parts for the sake of entertainment, but really, Che, it's just fucking boring. It's boring. It's cheap. It's pretending to have a mind-opening message, but it doesn't. Kirk Cameron's talking out of his ass, and I don't know if I even hate it. It's just like it's a waste of time. Like there are plenty of bad Christmas films for you guys to watch that I would recommend, chat. Ton of them. A Silent Night, Deadly Night, the series. Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. There's plenty of them, chat. So many. But this one, it's just is honestly a waste of time. There's just not enough meat there. Maybe I would say watch watch the reviews, which you guys have done. Watch these reviews. Watch some of these compilations of clips that are just fucking bizarre and weird. That's how I would say to watch it. But everything else is a waste of time. So if I had to give this a rating, Chad, on the DT scale, I think I would just give it a. I don't know. It's somewhere probably between like a very low summer bush and a fuck you, Chad. It's just a waste of time. Thank you, Dark Side, for the 5 biddies. Why you're still on Sarah Punch. Oh no! Whoops. I thought I changed that. Well, now, Chad, we're still in just chatting. We're still in just chatting. There we go. Thank you for noticing that. I appreciate that. Yeah. No, there's plenty of backers. But I hope you guys enjoyed the review nonetheless. Oh, KC, he made all this up in such an... No, he made all it up. He definitely made it up. I was like, what the fuck? I mean, a lot of this is conjecture and just theory and, and just like a hypothesis and top, it doesn't make any goddamn sense. It's a waste of time, chat. Well, it's like, well, maybe this. It's like, how do you know that? Yeah, chat. It's just a waste of time. Buggy saving Christmas. Indeed. But I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Hope you found that entertaining as opposed to the original film, chat, of Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas, putting the Christ back in Christmas. But chat, I'm going to go ahead and take a very brief break. I'm going to go ahead and refill my beverage, and I'll come back and do a review for Infinity Train Episode 3, chat, the Corgi car. Great one, chat, a great one. Masuka, thank you for the 10 biddies. Kirk's empty cup up equals empty promises. Very much so. Very much so. Totally agree. Your review was great. Thank you, James. Thank you. No, yeah, but now, chat, I shall return shortly. Entertain yourselves amongst yourselves and stick around.